Okay, round one. We're very lucky that we rolled first, because we always want to be on the play with this deck. Oh, and we have a sick hand. Alright, just jamming this. Goblin Guide, turn one. Best thing we can do. Let's get that every game. This is just mean. Stormkirk Noble is going to be pretty great, too. Alright, we know they have Forbid. That's important. Something you don't think about with Goblin Guide is, sure, it's a downside that you give them lands, but it's also an upside to see what they're drawing. Obviously not always, but knowing these things is pretty important. Not happy about that Is It Charm. If they play a mountain here, that sucks. Okay, good, good. Oh, that's such a good sign. Oof. Extra lands is really bad for us, though. We're only playing 15. This is a third of our entire land base, which is not great. Uh-oh. Gave them the land. They do have to pay 2 life to keep it, though. Like, to be able to Is It Charm right away. This might be a hold up Brimstone Volley for 5 possible damage moment. Feel like it is. Okay, so Steam Vents is out. Ooh, tapped. Okay. And they discard. I don't know, it feels like they should just charm this. Wow. More mana. We could actually lose this game, despite our insane start. Because we are flooding out very hard. It's pretty awful, really. Discarding Compulsive Research makes a ton of sense. See if they have a counter spell. They might. Yep. Alright. So now, is it Charm the Goblin Guide? Probably, but they might have other things to do, too. Forkbolt, Brimstone. Well, first non-land is good. They'll let us attack with it first, and then is it Charm? Volcanic Island now. Okay, so we let that resolve. Hit for 3. Brimstone Volley. And then Forkbolt. Oh, another counterspell? Remand. That's frustrating. I'll fire off the Forkbolt now while they have their mana down. Boy, it'd be nice if we had just like 2 less lands. Really, really nice. Alright. Well, I think we've actually just lost this game. Because they're going to have Forbid up. And I'm drawing more land. Okay. Oof. Game's so easy with, like I said, 2 less lands and we're just in insane shape. But, wow. I'll play the lands so we can try and double drop things, but Getting past Forbid with 7 cards in hand is essentially impossible. That was a brutal way to lose this game. The flood is real. And this is why you don't want a lot of lands in this style of deck. It's exactly this kind of thing. I'm going to go out on the hope that they'll tap out Forbid and maybe not be able to buy it back. They have to make a tough decision here. Like, is that good enough, or did they just forbid specifically the kill? Yeah, we had 7 lands and 6 spells. Oh my god. In a 15 land deck, that's absolutely ridiculous. So crazy. Problem is they just forbid, buy it back, forbid again. I have to just rip gas the rest of the game, and even then I don't know that I can win. Yep. Gotta make them use their whole hand doing it. And then hope that I top deck a burn. Or a hasted creature or something. Good to know that they have Splinter Twins. They're obviously the combo deck. You don't play Splinter Twin if you're not. Very unlikely, anyways. This is just disgusting now. Because they'll take the most cards just so they can keep buying back the Forbid. I'd at least like to have them have those. Yeah. We'll draw those ones. Oh. It is actually impossible for us to win now. Yeah. More lands than spells. Not what you need in Mono Red, actually, as it turns out. That was really brutal as a way to lose. But it highlights, like I said, an important point. You don't want a lot of lands. This is exactly why I try and minimize the number of lands that I have to play. Try and prevent things like that. Doesn't always work, obviously. And Magic does have variants. That hurt, though. That was a really awful way to lose. Could Devils play in case I get flooded? The problem is that I'm not normally going to get flooded. That's very rare. I mean, I would have considered 6 lands to be flooding, like 2 less. Honestly, even 5 would have probably felt pretty bad. 8 was just absurd. I'm gonna jam it. Most of our sideboards would be, like, a few anti-creature things, but they're not that heavy into creatures. And now this hand. If I don't actively draw a mountain, then we're probably dead. We have to draw it, like, right away. I do have 14 cards that are live. All those lands. Let's make a quick calculation here. Problem is I only really have 1 draw to hit it. It's a 42% chance on the first draw. after that, like if I want to try and get it on turn 3, it's 67. Which might make it reasonable just because I have so many good 2s. Oh, painful. Painful, painful, painful. Flood to screw. Not good. This is a tough choice. All of our cards are really important just because of how fast we want to be in the reach that we need. I'm going to keep it. Super risky, but we can't get unlucky all the time, right? We drew all lands last time. I'm sure we'll do it this time. I don't even want to draw all lands. I only want to draw 2. Maybe not even that many. Alright. That's a playable card. I'll hold off on it, though. We know that they have Young Pyromancer, which is important for us to kill. Or Thing in the Ice. Ugh. Yep. How do I want to do this? I can Kiln Fiend. If I get another land, I can both Fork Bolt and Bushwhacker. Ire Shaman has to be double blocked, which could be good. I feel like with both Incinerate and Fork Bolt, I'm okay playing Kiln Fiend. We pass. Slowed down by this. We really needed to win game 1. A lot of decks have good sideboards against Mono Red, and you just try and steal game 1 so that they're always down. Losing game 1 really hurts. And they're a blue-red tempo deck, which is a bad matchup for us a lot of the time. Because they're going to have a fair amount of blue burn spells and stuff. Like they had the Electrolyze last time. Yeah, Flame Slash. Exactly this kind of thing. This exactly. Well, this is all very bad news for us. Couple of rough hands. We might still pull it out. We're certainly not dead yet. But it's going to be tough. Very, 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 very tough. Now, first hand was so good, too, at start. It just ended up absolutely awful at the end. Let's attack first. I'm worried if they have a counterspell and I go try and go Firebolt, Forkbolt, both on Thing in the Ice. That's not going to work out. And there's a decent chance they have it. Ew, Young Pyromancer is not good. I'm thinking if this way, if I attack, they'll block. Electrolyze onto that. Yep. These are all of the worst things for us. Then they'll block, and I should be able to Firebolt it. It's possible they have Spell Pierce, but gotta take the risk. It'd be so miserable if they have it. Thank God. At least there's that. "16 life on turn 5, though, is incredibly bad news for us. Probably kept this hand even when I shouldn't have, just because of how awful that first game showed up when we just drew all lands. I don't think I can beat Consecrated Sphinx. Painful. So we're going to get 3 for 1. Because I have to Incinerate, Fork Bolt it. But I have to do it. There's no other option. Take our licks now. They have 7 cards in hand, though. I'm thinking this is impossible. 3 cards versus 7 when our deck is meant to be hyper-aggressive and take advantage of the early game. And we get dazed. Okay. Well, it was a good try. Game 1 was super disappointing. Like, just unbelievably bad luck. But that happens. I think the deck was good. Too bad that we couldn't play it a little bit longer. I don't think it was terrible. We can go back and look at it really quickly here, because we've got the time. So, looking at the deck, I mean, we want to try and find ways that it could have been better, what we could have done maybe differently. I think that we had the proper deck for the cards that we've gotten. We definitely had some other cards that are in this cube that I wish we had, but that's not really something that we can change. Like, I'd love to have, say, a Falconwrath Gorger and a Jackal Pup, so some more 1-drops. Those are both 2/1 creatures for 1. Things like that would be really good. There is no Shrine of Burning Rage in this cube. Gorehouse Chainwalker would have been another really good one. Another 3/2 for 2. But, like, there's no Shrine of Burning Rage. There's no Sulfuric Vortex. So it's a slightly lower power level, I think, than they have been in the past. I'm wondering even if we made a mistake by only playing 15 lands. I know that sounds really weird because we flooded out so hard in game 1. But I calculated the odds, and the odds of that happening, us drawing 8 lands out of 14 draws, was only at a 6% chance. And I mean, that was at the end of the game. We actually hit some gas cards at the end of the game. If we hadn't drawn those all in a row, then we were at much lower odds before that. So just sometimes the games turn out that way. I don't think that we made the right decision in game 2, and I'm sure that that's partially because, at least partially because of the fact that I was drawing so poorly in game 1 that you just automatically start doing dumb things. I don't think that I was necessarily tilted a lot, but your mind plays awful tricks on you, especially when it comes to stats, even when you know them, and you keep hands that you probably shouldn't, just hoping that you'll get there, and I believe that we did that with game 2. We did end up getting the land, but it was a little bit slower and clunkier than we need to be in this deck. This deck needs to come out fast. Opponent's deck was good against ours as well. Like, they had a good sideboard against us. Blue-red is going to be a tougher matchup for this style of deck. Same with, like, a green deck. A lot of the times the green decks will have Obstinate Baloths and Thragtusk and cards like that that are a little bit tough to get around. So it's a little bit of a tougher matchup. So I think it was a combination of those few things. So some good lessons there. Should probably take, like, a deep breath, walk away from the computer even for a minute. This is just a tip for everybody, too. Like, kind of clear your head, think about it really thoroughly before you decide whether or not to mulligan there. I have a lot of time. We're playing an aggro deck. We're going to have 30 minutes on our clock. We have 10 minutes before we time out. We can spend the time to really think about our position, take a deep breath, get the last game out of our head, despite the bad luck, and try and make sure that we make the proper one, because I don't think we made the proper decision there. But good lessons for next time, and I will hope to see you for the next Full Force. Thanks everyone for stopping by, and if you haven't already, check out the article on newmontgaming.com, because I write an article to go with all of these. Get a little bit more in-depth in the article and just summarize everything that happened here, and always a little bit of fun. And of course, I will try and do another one of these next week.